I'm so thrilled to welcome all of you to our campaign open house here in the heart of Joe Biden's home state of Delaware. Now, I know it might be hard to believe, but just a few days ago, it was the halfway point of our campaign. 9 months ago, we launched Biden-Harris 2024 with the simple mission to win once and for all the battle for the soul of our nation. Now we're 9 months from Election Day, and today South Carolina voters take the first step in sending President Biden and Vice President Harris back to the White House. To our amazing campaign staff, thank you for all that you've done to get us to this moment. Thank you for the long days and long nights, sacrificing sleep, time with loved ones, all working towards something so much bigger than all of us. And it warms my heart to see you all growing closer together, whether it's at the Stitch House or Chelsea Tavern here in Wilmington, or bumping into each other along the Riverfront Trail. We're so proud of what we've built here in the headquarters together. We're more than 100 staffers strong and growing, with world-class talent and a formidable war chest. But our success this fall will depend as much as on what we're building in all of our states. So we're scaling up rapidly, continuing to hire across all of our battleground states, and we're continuing to rack up more and more endorsements. And we've been on the airwaves to reach the voters that we know we need to win. So the next 9 months aren't for the faint of heart, and nothing less than our democracy is at stake. But I know this team of world beaters is up for the challenge because, as President Biden always says, there's nothing we can't do if we do it together. So now it's time to finish the job. And I am so honored to introduce our Madam Vice President, someone that we know has been a fearless fighter for the people on so many issues and continues to champion so much for our administration. Madam Vice President. Hello, Delaware. Can we please give it up for Julie, who is an extraordinary... I have to tell you, I have worked with Julie for years, and she is someone who really just represents all that I know that we all stand for, about the people, about organizing, about coalition building, bringing people together, and the work that it requires around the clock. Julie, thank you for all of your work. And Mr. President, Dr. Biden, the first, second gentleman of the United States, my husband. I have to tell you what joy Doug and I were feeling as we were coming into Delaware. And we were reflecting, Mr. President and Dr. Biden, on those days that we were waiting, as we all remember, for the announcement about who would be the next president of the United States. And this is a community that is so extraordinary in terms of the support that you give so tirelessly and so selflessly. And we know this is what it's going to take, all of us being here together, understanding that it is about all of us. The senators are here. The soon-to-be senator is here. And this election, yes, it is about each of us asking of ourselves, what kind of country do we want to live in? That really is what is at stake. Knowing that we each have the power to answer that question. Yes, it is about our ticket, but it is about all of us. And I'm so proud to work every day with our president. I will tell you, he is a son of Delaware. This is family, so I know you know what I'm talking about. But for the sake of the cameras, let me just tell you something. Joe Biden, first of all, is fearless. When you look at what he has pushed through
in spite of the odds. That's the story of his life, but it is the story also of his presidency. Joe Biden doesn't hear no. Some people talked about Infrastructure Week forever. Joe Biden said, we're going to make it a reality. So many of our young leaders know what is at stake in terms of the climate and what we must do to build up our ability in terms of adaptation and resiliency, bringing down greenhouse gas emissions, saving this beautiful planet God has given us. Joe Biden is the one, under his presidency, that pushed through historic legislation together with our senators and so many of our friends in Congress. Joe Biden is the president who said, as he has always said, we're going to invest in science. He was the author of the moonshot, and when he became president, it was about saying we're going to get a CHIPS and Science bill and invest in what we need to do to be a global leader on the challenges that face the world. And those are just a few of the things. But I have to tell you, it is a great blessing and privilege for me to work with him every day, because he really, really cares. And, you know, there's a certain perversion that has been taking place, I think, in our country by some to suggest that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down. But the measure of our leader is based on who he lifts up. With the character of a true leader, which is someone who has a profound character of caring about the suffering of other people and then spending days and nights doing what he knows is possible to lift people up. And so it is my great honor to be with him and to introduce our president, Joe Biden.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's good to be home. You know what's really good about it, Kamala? These people know me, and they're still here. These are the folks, as that saying goes up in Klamath, who brung me to the dance. Folks, no one did more of that. I remember my sister coming home when we were starting to run for the Senate and said, I think you need some help. This is back in 1990. No, I'm only joking. Hey, John, how are you? 1972. And she said, there's a guy named Ted Kaufman, works for the DuPont Company. Ted, good to see you. One of my best friends in life and friends of my children, and it's great to see you, buddy. Or I should call you Senator. Because he's the only guy when I said, you got to be Senator, he said, I don't want to be Senator. Well, look, folks, Doug and Kamala are here. I was hoping, they came here, and I'm leaving from here to their home in Los Angeles. So, it seemed kind of sort of ass backwards here. But look, I'm feeling good about where we are. I really am. The folks are starting to focus in. And the guy we're running against, he's not for anything. He's against everything. No, I mean it. It's the weirdest campaign I've ever been engaged in. It's even worse than in terms of his behavior than the last time in 2020. And, Kamala mentioned there's so much at stake. And you all, this crowd really knows me extremely well. They know me too well. Don't tell everything you know, guys. But all kidding aside, I meant what I said back in when we announced the first time for president against this guy, and we went up to Independence Hall and made a speech on democracy. And the press kind of thought it was a little bit of an exaggeration, except the American people didn't. The American people get it. They understand what's going on. And so this is a group of folks assembled in this room. We're going to be able to say, God willing, that you help this generation helped save democracy. I mean, in a literal sense. You hear, and by the way, as I go around the world, which I do a lot with other heads of state because I've known them for so long and I'm engaged, and Madeleine Albright was right. America is the essential nation, and they all look to us, as my colleagues know. And every time I leave, not a joke, whether it's at the G20, the G7, wherever they are, they'll pull me aside one at a time and say, "You've got to win. You got to win. We can't afford. My country's at stake," meaning their country. So there's a lot at stake here, folks. We have an enormous obligation. But, you know, I think it's time to finish the job here. I think it's time for us to... And if I don't stop talking, I'm going to get hooked from Jill. She's going to pull me off this little path. But, folks, look, people are beginning to focus. They're beginning to focus. And the polling data, everything's picking up across the board. The new Quinnipiac poll, national poll, has us beating them 50-44. Our neighboring state of Pennsylvania, the Susquehanna poll, has beaten them 47-39. Another one in Pennsylvania, 42-37. And by the way, in New Hampshire, we weren't on the ballot, couldn't campaign there. And guess what? We got 64% of the vote. So, folks, I'm going to put all this away and just say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I look out there and I see, Tommy, it's great seeing you, pal. I'm going to miss you, but you're not getting away. You're not getting away. And Chris is there all the time for me, and our soon-to-be senator, former congressperson. Your dad was incredible, by the way. And that woman behind you, that sister of yours, she ran my operation for a long time. She's the reason I was able to win the first time. God love it. But I look out and see so many of you. Gov, you're the best. Because, like me, you married way above your station. So anyway, if I start naming everybody, I'll name everybody in here, including Vince Deanna. Vinny, how are you, buddy? Good to see you, man. I haven't run a campaign without Vince giving me hell and helping me win around the way. Anyway, thank you. We got a lot to do, and I think you all get it along with me. This is not just a campaign. This is more of a mission. We cannot lose this campaign for the good of the country. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's not about me. It goes well beyond me. It goes about the country. And I think everybody knows it, and I think people are beginning to dawn on people. And as long as I got Ronnie Oliver still hanging with me, I'm okay. So anyway, thank you. You're the best in the world. I'm going to hang out with you if I can. Thank you.